Welcome back to the league that means nothing on Go Again Gaming.
We're back at the league that means nothing. It's Season 4, Round 5 this time, which means that we have this and our top 8 cut to take care of for this season. I, Bryce Platts, have something very special for you all today. I think if there's one thing I love more about the game of Flesh and Blood itself, it is teaching the game of Flesh and Blood to brand new players. And this time, I have brought somebody who has no qualifications whatsoever into the booth. It is my own Flesh and Blood. It's Danielle Platts, my very own sibling and sister.
Thank you for having me. I'm stoked to be here.
I am stoked to have you here and to share this hobby that I and so many people around the world love so much. And what a better way to do it than Go Again Gaming's The League That Means Nothing. So, Danny, in case the name doesn't say it, there is nothing on the line on this league. Everybody competing is just doing it for fun and, hey, maybe some bragging rights as well.
Hey, that makes it seems like a really cool community to be a part of for the love of the game. And the name reminds me of Seinfeld a lot, which is the show about nothing. So I also love Seinfeld, and I think that's really well inspired.
Okay. Well, that is a nice parallel to draw. And, yeah, we're going to see how much of nothing plays out before our very eyes. This match is going to be anything but nothing. There's going to be a lot happening here because one of the heroes that we have to contend with is Dash.io. She is a mechanologist. I'm going to go ahead and bring up her card art for you, Danny, so you can kind of react to the way she vibes.
Oh.
Not her.
Oh,
no.
my. Okay, no, she's cool. She's really cool. Okay, she is definitely from the future. I really like her look. I love her haircut. She has a long ponytail of some kind that might be useful in combat. I really like her.
Okay.
Dash.io. All right.
You and a lot of other folks really like her. Yeah. She is a mechanologist. That class in Flesh and Blood is known for going very fast. Okay. They have a keyword called Boost written on a lot of their attack action cards, which means that they can banish the top card of their deck in order to give that attack go again, which is really cool and above rate, but a lot of times Dash.io has to be really careful about burning through their deck too fast in an attempt to kill their opponent in no seconds flat.
What are the downfalls of Dash.io?
The downfall is mainly that you're burning your deck as you go really fast. Oh, right. The upside, though, is that you do a lot of damage, and you get to look at the top card of your deck anytime you want. That's just built into her hero ability.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That seems really powerful.
It is incredibly powerful, especially when you pair it with the fact that she can play item cards that she finds off the top of her deck at instant speed, which can lead to extra action points generated, and also it can lead to damage out of nowhere, because one of the most important items that we're going to have our eye on is called Boom Grenade. Just does extra damage when something connects.
And is Boom Grenade related to Dash.io?
It's kind of a card that only she utilizes in the current metagame. It's not really like, it's not a specialization of hers or anything, but she's the only one who uses it to the best of its capability. The other hero, Danny, is Verdance, Thorn of the Rose. We've already seen a game with a wizard, Danny, but this one is very different.
Oh my, look at her. She is ethereal. That gown was woven by all kinds of, I don't know, like forest creatures, and they're both redheads.
That is true. I've never propped this matchup as a duel of the redheads, but yes, it will be.
Yeah, and she's a wizard.
She's a wizard. You have previously seen a game with Acilio, who is a lightning wizard. In this case, Verdance is an earth wizard. So she's not going to be going big 10,000 watts of power damage in one turn. Instead, she's going to get a lot of capability from life gain and defense. And she's also going to be trying to accomplish a little mini game throughout, where she is trying to put earth cards from her graveyard into her banish zone. Once she's done that enough times, she essentially turns into an arcane damage Gatling gun, where every time she gains life, she's going to deal 1 arcane damage.
Oh, that sounds cool. And what is she up against? What are her weaknesses?
So she does take a little bit of time to get her mini game setup going. So can get run over by Dash.io.
Heard. Okay, well, we'll have to see.
Any predictions before we get going, Danny?
Ooh. Well, in the last game, I saw the wizard of the game come out swinging as like the underdog and really came in at the very end. So I'm going to go Verdance.
No one can fault you there. Verdance is one heck of a hero, and we love to see her win. But I tend to think that's not the way this is going to go. Dash.io goes super duper fast. We'll see who's right. But before we get into the game, let's go ahead and have a word from our sponsors.
This game in League That Means Nothing is brought to you by yet again another returning sponsor in Green Tree Sports Cards, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania's main card shop for sports cards and trading card games, including favourites, Flesh and Blood, of course, but also doing Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering as well. It also hosts Armory Nights at 6:30 p.m, but also has a variety of other TCG events like Yu-Gi-Oh! On Thursday, Pokemon on Friday, and Magic the Gathering Commander on Friday as well. But they're also going to be doing a Flesh and Blood 10K weekend on November the 1st to the 2nd, so make sure you check them out on all their socials and keep up to date, because that's not an event you want to miss. That's Green Tree Sports Cards.
And we're back with the league that means nothing. We'll take that one more time. I was messing with you.
Okay.
And we're back with the league that means nothing. Many questions have been asked, some of them answered sheepishly by myself and my co-caster Danielle Platz, but we have only one way to get the answer, and that's to proceed on down to the virtual match floor. Shall we get going, Danny?
We shall.
Let's do it. Down to the match floor we go, where, stand by, I am clicking on my OBS. The match has begun. Ryan Debling on the left side of your screen, sporting Verdance Thorn of the Rose versus Thomas Johnson Everett playing Dash.io. The right side of your screen is the one where the speed is going to be coming down. Warmonger's Diplomacy, however, is going to get resolved on Ryan Debling's side of the board after gaining a little bit of life, which is exactly what Verdance wants to be doing on this turn 0 of the game. Warmonger's Diplomacy essentially says each player can choose only attack action cards or non-attack action cards to play on their turn, and you must choose war or peace. I tend to think that Thomas is going to be going for war.
Well, I would also be going for war, it seems. Wow. Okay.
I'm going to start out
and so it's back over to Thomas, who gets the first real swing of the game, coming in first with 0 to 60, banishing, of course, a Mechanologist card off the top of the deck. So 0 to 60 is going to get go again, coming in for 4.
Is that a lot of damage?
It is for a card that you don't have to pitch resources for. So that's kind of the benchmark that a lot of Flesh and Blood strategies are trying to achieve. I want one card 4s, and if I can do that enough times, I'm definitely going to be winning this game.
Understood. Yeah, I didn't realize that this was essentially $0 card.
$0 it is, and so is the one that comes after it. It's Zipper Hit. This time coming in for 5. Also has the keyword boost, but doesn't look like Thomas is going to be taking advantage of it here. No, instead just allowing Zipper Hit to come in for 5. No go again here, perhaps detecting that Ryan Debling might try to block him out a whole lot and allow Thomas to fatigue himself. Something that can definitely happen to Dash.io if they're not careful about the cards in deck.
Seems that she can move a little too fast and tire herself out.
100%.
Yeah, that seems to be what we're trying to do here on Ryan's side.
Ryan, it's back over to him, and he has chosen peace off of that Warmonger's Diplomacy, so no attacks can be resolved for him. Instead, it's a non-attack action out of the arsenal. Heartbeat of Candlehold, which is a Verdant specialization, and going to allow Ryan Debling to gain 1 life 3 times over. Something that he wishes he could do after his mini quest of decomposition had happened already, but instead, it's just going to be 3 points of life gained and a Waning Moon activation to boot. So 2 arcane damage and 3 life gain brings Ryan Debling back to 42, where he began on turn 0 of this game. It's back over to Thomas now for, I'm sure, more boosting.
I love it. And both of these heroes can increase their life force throughout the game. Is that correct?
Okay.
I would say that Dash.io is generally not want to do that. It's pretty much just Verdance's boon to bear. There was an old version of Dash.io when she first came on the scene that utilizes a card called Tome of Fjendal, but that card has since been banned in the fabled Burning of the Books ban list that happened some time ago now.
Wow, Burning of the Books. I'm going to have to hear more about that.
We can discuss that at a later time. For now, Fast and Furious is the follow-up. 0 cost and 4 go again. Gets +1 because Thomas has cranked an item this turn. 4 go again now is what Ryan has to contend with. I can't actually quite make out what item that was that came off the top of the deck. I want to say it's a backup protocol red, but the glare on Thomas's webcam is making it a little bit difficult.
Now, I think cranked is a new action that I have yet to see.
So it's a keyword. A lot of the items that Dash.io is going to be playing have the keyword crank, which is super useful because when they're played at instant speed and Thomas cranks them, they're going to generate an action point that essentially comes out of nowhere.
Oh my, okay, so that's another benefit of Dash.io, it seems.
She gets to have super wide turns that ninjas dream of and be tricksy about it as she does it.
Ugh, Trixie, just like her ponytail.
4 go again is the follow-up here from yet another red 0 to 60, and the second red throttle banished off the top of the deck from it.
I'm sorry, who banished?
0 to 60 has the keyword boost. As an additional cost to play 0 to 60, Thomas can banish the top card of his deck in order to give it go again.
Okay. Ah, I see.
This one is blocked out perfectly by both Burn Bear and Crown of Providence. Ryan perhaps detecting that it's the moment to do a little bit of filtering here. Zipper hit in the red. This is looking almost identical to the previous combat chain that Thomas put together, but this one, this zipper hit coming in for 5, will be boosted, banishing a yellow 0 to 60 and gaining go again. I think it's only 1 card left in the hand. Thomas has utilized Dash.io's ability, so not digging for another item off the top, perhaps just trying to cash in one of the counters on Symbiosis Shot for a little bit of extra damage.
Now, is there a way to see how Ryan is progressing on the mini game, essentially, of Verdance?
So his webcam is a little bit cropped so that we can't see it too much, but the telltale sign is that there are no cards in his banish zone below the deck. So absolutely no progress whatsoever. And it could be that Ryan has just put that dream on hold because he knows he's just going to have to be doing a lot of blocking against the onslaught of Dash.io.
I see. All right, well, I'll probably be checking in a little bit.
I'll show you this.
For now, it's Pulse Wave Harpoon. Thomas is still on the front foot. Another 4 damage coming through. After boosting, of course. Or I'm sorry, I think he may have foregone the boost because now there's only 1 action point floating for Thomas after cranking an item off the top. No, it is going to be Symbiosis Shot. 1 counter cashed in there for 2 damage. Symbiosis Shot is an extremely cool weapon for Dash.io. Going to gain a counter every time Dash.io plays an item. And going to essentially be a free 2 damage whenever one of those counters is taken off.
That sounds great.
33 plays 34. Ryan Debling finally doing something affirmative. It's going to be a 2 card, just a 2 on this Plow Under, but he is decomposing as an additional cost to play that Plow Under. And because Ryan has decomposed, it's going to kickstart that minigame that we talked about at the beginning of this stream, and also force Thomas to put a card from his arsenal on the bottom of his deck.
Oh my. Is this the first time we're seeing the arsenal?
This is the first time. I think that might have been the first card that. No. It was the second card that Thomas had arsenaled this turn, but he's not going to get to play with it because it has been plowed under.
Plowed under. May it be.
I'll play a boom grenade and
but it's back over to Thomas. 32 plays 33. Ryan is holding his own, but this is a card that might change things. It's the first boom grenade resolved this game. Boom grenade, when an attack connects on Dash.io's side of the board, it is going to trigger, explode. And in this case, in the yellow variety, going to deal an additional 3 damage. So Ryan really wants to be blocking on this turn. First and foremost, it's a break point. Yellow zipper hit coming in for 4 go again after being boosted. Oh, and Ryan has the perfect answer. It's Shelter from the Storm, which means that he's going to be blocking for 4 with 1 card out of hand.
I love that. And it seems it didn't cost him a thing and came at the right time.
You are right about that. Cog in the Machine
Tap
is
one
the
of them
follow-up.
to put it in
This is a
color.
card that I have not seen utilized in Dash.io a whole lot. This is
Going
a
up to
big surprise to
gun
me. 2
charges,
golden cogs
2 action
generated there.
points.
Normally something that Dash.io's mechanologist counterpart Puffin Hightail out of the high seas wants to be doing. But in this case, it's going to generate 2 action points thanks to the fact that both of those golden cogs have the keyword crank.
Oh, okay. Another crank card.
Oh, and it was not a backup protocol red resolved earlier. It was instead a cerebellum processor, which is going to allow Thomas at action speed to draw a card. So Cog in the Machine actually putting in some serious work,
boost yellow
generating an
again,
action point, which
2 go
thereby
again.
essentially
Must
gives
be
the
defended by
cerebellum
equipment.
processor activation go again. In this case, it's going to be a T-bone as the follow-up.
Crystal
2
Shadows,
go again, thanks to it being boosted,
then
and
I'm gonna
also
discard
going to
this
force
mental
Ryan
block.
Devlin to block with a piece of equipment. So Storm Striders is going to
so
come
I'll
out to
take
play,
the
and
blocks.
also mental block out of the hand, going to
Okay.
prevent 2 damage and also generate a ponder token for Ryan Devling. This is
I
looking
use
really
DS
good
once
if you are fans of the Earth Wizard.
Yep.
All
I'll crank the
right.
yellow boom
And
grenade going
how
back
would
to 2
you
action points.
how would you rate how these players are playing? Like,
then I'm gonna
would
shoot
you
the
say
gun
that
for
Ryan
2.
or Thomas does this change the outcome that you're predicting?
So far, it's pretty much exactly how I would have thought this game to be going. Thomas has not put together the powerful turns that we know Dash.io for. He's
yeah,
still kind of
take
doing a
this
lot
way.
of setup here. He has resolved
I
a
will
boom
use the
grenade
last
off
action
the
point
top,
to
though,
shoot
so
the
it's
gun
not
for
just the
2.
yellow boom grenade. It's also another one that is
yep.
threatened
I'll send
on
it
hit
across.
here. He's also cranked that boom
Correct.
grenade, which makes me
This is
think that
31.
he needs a lot more offense in order to get those triggers. Otherwise, those items are going to go by the wayside at the beginning of his next turn.
Well, that does not sound good. We don't want to waste cards.
So all of these items that he's resolving come in with steam counters. That's like their juice, their power, their fuel, right? But every single turn
I will play
that
Warhammers.
passes back to Thomas, he must remove one of those steam
I will
counters
respond
or
to your
lose the item.
warmongers by
I
using
see,
Dios
I
once
see.
per
Okay,
turn
I'm
to
following.
put a Tekla core into
So
play.
because those 2 boom grenades don't have any steam counters on them, they are going to expend themselves at the beginning of the turn, even though they have not connected
Then
with
I will say
Ryan's
war.
face as of yet.
Ah.
All right, I'll pick
I
War
see.
as well.
So Ryan resolving
Not
yet
on the
another
track.
Warmonger's diplomacy.
So
Does
draw,
look like Thomas has
no
chosen
muscle
war,
team.
and so has
Okay.
Ryan in this
That's
case,
items
probably
break.
trying to resolve himself a felling of the crown. See if he can get the space to do that at the very
those
least.
4 procs.
It's back over to Thomas. 32 plays 31. 2 boom grenades turn back into their components and go to the graveyard. 1 cerebellum processor
resources
remains
floating.
on the board for Thomas at this juncture. Really needs to put together a bigger turn
I'll
here
boost
because
the zipper hit yellow.
after maybe 4 turns in this game, would really like Ryan to be sub 20 life at this point.
I see. I mean, I do like that both players have chosen war. War sounds fun.
War is definitely the more fun of the 2 options, especially
Yeah,
when the
they all
objective of the game is to kill your opponent.
Yes, I love it. I want to see some blood.
So blood may be spilled here. Zipper hit coming in for 4 go again.
Correct.
Command and Conquer is the block, which means that 1 should be leaking through. Yes, Ryan Devling descends down to 30. 32 plays 30. Thomas has himself a little bit
boost the
of
yellow
a life
zipper hit,
buffer,
but
but the
they go.
real question is, can he do enough damage before the deck goes by the wayside? 0 to 60 in the yellow is the follow-up here. 3 go again.
All right.
Um,
And what is 0
I'll
to
send the
60 is
blocks.
back? It seems
No
this
reaction.
is we've seen this card multiple
take
times
3.
this game.
That is correct. We've seen 2 red versions
I'll
of it,
stick
which
with
come
that
in for
for 2.
4. In this case, it's a yellow version, which comes in for 1 less
sure.
value
I'll block
because
2 with this
it pitches
red
for 1
boost.
extra resource.
I see. Okay.
Does look like a little bit more blood has been spilled for Ryan Devling. He is
Excellent.
bleeding leaves of green and gold down to 27 after a symbiosis shot connects with the face. Ryan Devling, however,
play
kept a
Felling.
lot of cards, and one of them
One
is, of
Warmongers,
course,
yeah,
Felling
I
of the
think War.
Crown. This is exactly, I think,
and
why
I'll
Ryan
decompose.
chose war instead of peace. So now, that is the second time Ryan has
3
been
Earth
able to
cards.
decompose this game,
5
which I
now.
think
Brings
means he
this
should have
attack up
6
to
of the
8.
8 Earth cards that he needs in
And,
order to
you have
accomplish
one
his
card.
quest. It also means that Felling of the Crown is going to get a juicy bit of extra power. It's coming in for 8, and also because he decomposed as an additional cost, Thomas must put a card from his hand on the bottom of his deck.
Oh, I love the way that this is playing out. Go Verdance, continue your quest. I'm rooting for you.
So we've already mentioned earlier that a 1-card 4 that costs 0 is pretty dang good in this game, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so Felling of the Crown in this case, Danny, is a 2 card, because we have to account for the card that was pitched to
Card is
play it.
bottomed.
2 card
I'll
8.
take 8.
And it's also removing a card from Thomas's hand. So oftentimes we like to think of this as a 2 card 11,
Cool.
Wow.
I'll pass
That
to
sounds
you.
great.
especially when the benchmark you're trying to hit is 4
4
per card that you play.
Heard. So this sounds great.
It's 100% great for
Floating.
Ryan Debling. Gonna do a little bit of damage there. Down to
I'll open
24
up
goes
with
Thomas
Cog and
Johnson, but
Machine.
also the more important bit is the disruption that came off of
Cog
Felling of
and
the
the
Crown.
Cog on the
Cog and the
bottom.
Machine. The second copy this game is resolved for Thomas Johnson Averett. 2 golden cogs generated once again,
Going up to
and 2
4
action
gunshot,
points on top of it.
Action points.
Also a couple counters on Symbiosis Shot, which means
gonna
that
open up
the
with,
pistol can
red
keep
T-bone,
on shooting.
Arsenal,
T-Bone
boosting,
is the first attack
and
here.
then for 3 go
3
again,
go
that's
again.
included by equipment.
Boosted, of course. Going to force Ryan Debling to block with a piece of equipment.
I'll block
This
with
time
my
choosing
boss,
one that
yeah.
actually has a block value.
Anything else?
Barkskin of the Millennium
which makes
Tree is going to block for
an
2 here.
embodiment.
Also, generate an Embodiment of Earth token, which is going to
I'll
beef
take
up
one.
the defenses of
Unless you
any
have anything.
non-attack action cards for the rest of
Okay.
Ryan's turn.
Fantastic. And you can
I'll
see,
boost with
I can
Fast
see
and Furious.
Thomas actually revealing that top card,
4 go again?
which I didn't really notice
Yep.
before, because that's one of the benefits of Dash.io. Is that correct?
That's
I will
correct.
vote
She
for
can
4
look
with
at the top
Scour.
card of her deck at any time. In this case, the Embodiment of Earth token is doing work because this Scour, which
Okay,
would normally
good.
block for 3, is blocking exactly 4 on this Fast and
Person
Furious, which happens to come in for the same amount.
They look like sisters, Fast and the Furious and Dash.io.
Oh, that is Dash.io on that card.
Oh,
An astute observation, sister of mine. 2 action points remain for Thomas Johnson Averett. 24 plays 26. And honestly, this game is progressing exactly
see
how
that once per
Verdance
turn.
would like it to. In general, this Earth Wizard likes to
no
keep
time
life
zone,
totals
no
at
time
parity,
All right.
which is to say more or less in the same realm for as long as possible, and then put together a traditional wizard combo turn in order to close it out with a little bit of
You got a
cheeky
piece of paper or
arcane
something,
damage.
maybe
In this
write a
case,
name
however,
with the card on that
Thomas
as well.
just not finding the offensive capability that he needs. Instead, doing a little bit of disruption. Null Time Zone comes off the top, which essentially says that Thomas can name a card that he doesn't want his opponent to play,
From
and they
hand
can't
or
until that
Arsenal?
item is
it's
gone.
Just hand.
when in
Can't be played
doubt,
or
cause
pitched from hand.
chaos. If you can inflict
Okay,
damage,
cool.
cause chaos.
That is exactly right, actually. That's how we like to think about this game.
I'm going to boost blue.
You're really
Super Hit.
catching on here, Danny.
Thank you.
Zipper hit in the
3 go.
blue variety this time comes in for 3. Go again, of course, thanks to the banish of that 0 to 60 off the top. 3 go again here. The named card, of course, on Null Time Zone is Rootbound Carapace, one of the namesake
I
defense
was in the
reactions
books.
in the Earth
No reactions.
arsenal. So Ryan Debling is not going to be
catch
able to
action.
utilize it here. The important part about Rootbound Carapace is
I'm gonna
it not
shoot
only its
gun
defensive value, but it also
to-
allows you to decompose on your opponent's
I'm gonna
turn,
do
which
this
is
2 more
something that is
times if you want
typically
any short
not
gun.
available to you.
Okay, understood.
So what,
Ryan,
6
however,
total, right?
with a monster of a defensive turn, the most nasty things you can do in Flesh and Blood are not always offense. Shelter from the Storm is going to shore up all of the damage on that zipper hit. And the follow-up is just another Symbiosis
I'll
shot
take
for
6.
2.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And then
So
our
20
gun.
24.
Then goes down
But
to 2
shooting
charges.
even more is Thomas Johnson Averett. He
And
had
at the end.
several action points
Alright.
thanks to the Cog of the Machine resolved at the beginning of the turn, and also the Null Time Zone, which made its way from the top of the deck onto the battlefield. So Symbiosis shot 3 times and came in for a total of 6 damage.
All right,
6
so
is
I'll turn
good
my
for this
embodiment
card,
pops
correct?
If you want to respond
100%.
to
In
it.
that old iteration of Dash.io that I was talking about earlier that
Okay.
utilized the book,
I'll
one of the
play
things
this
it
to
really liked to
the
do was
Arsenal.
generate a ridiculous number of action points and then just go bang, 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 bang with the gun over and over again until the opponent was dead.
Excellent, excellent. We like bang, bang, bang.
Ryan Debling is on the front foot once again, decomposing
this will
3
come in
Earth cards
for
and
8.
thereby accomplishing the Verdance Thorn of the Rose quest. Now, whenever he is able to heal on his own turn, he's also going to deal 1 arcane damage to his opponent.
I'll block
Furthermore,
6.
the bigger portion of this turn
No
is
reactions.
the cadaverous tilling that got the decomposition
I
done.
will
8
pass
damage comes across for Thomas Johnson and got the mechanologist, who is not
Null Time
known
Zone
for
will go down
defense, to
counter.
do a little bit of blocking,
great.
which is not even the most sweet part of Thomas
play,
laying some
Moon
cards down. It's
Grenade,
that
red,
all of those cards that was defended with
Frank.
cannot come back at Ryan
Null
Debling on the
Times.
offense.
Wow, that's incredible. So
process good.
that's pure strategy. Is that correct?
It is. Ryan is definitely taking his lickings when he can in order to send some damage Thomas's way. Thomas, however, doing a little bit of
go again.
strategic setup in his own
Strike.
right. Boom grenade resolved on his side of the board, not cranked, which means
no
that
box.
it'll be around for his next turn.
No
Ryan,
boxes.
however, has found himself
One.
a little bit of offense of his own. Enlightened Strike coming in for
7,
5 go
20,
again,
yeah.
and still
Okay.
plenty of cards left in the hand because Thomas did
And then
nothing affirmative
I
except for that boom
will-
grenade on his turn.
Next time.
Play
Pulsing Aether Life
pitching
is the
with
next
Shelter.
card resolved. Pitching a
Sets
Shelter
for
from the Storm,
Arcane.
so only one side of that meld card going to be resolved. It's just going to be the one that does 4 arcane damage. Thomas does have a good amount of arcane barrier, or I should say arcane damage mitigation in his equipment suite.
Yep.
He's got
2-1.
AB2 in the head slot,
Cool.
and also the Misfire Dampener
I
at the
will
ready to shore up
hustle.
even
Okay.
more on the combo turn for Ryan Debling.
Now, how do these combo cards work? Are they acting together?
It
No
also
time zone break.
on the Earth
Boom
Wizard
grenade
side of the board, right?
zero
Correct.
counters.
Okay, so Ryan is going to try to get Thomas into kill range, which for Verdance is generally around 9 life. And then those boots that you see on his side of the board are called Storm Striders. Those are the namesake legendary boots for wizards. They cost 1 resource to destroy, and once that has been done, Ryan will be allowed to play his next non-attack action as though it were an instant. So, essentially, Thomas can come in for lethal damage, and Ryan can go, hold on a minute.
Open up with
I'm going to
yellow
pop my
zipper
boots.
hit
I'm going to
from
send an
Arsenal.
arcane damage spell for 6, and then also activate my weapon, which requires him to have played a
Boosting,
non-attack
coming in
action
for
card
4
that turn
go
to deal
again.
an additional 3 damage, all on the opponent's side of the all on the opponent's turn.
Wow, it's fantastic. I mean, the amount of opportunity you have to be strategic in this game is really impressive.
Preaching to the choir here, Danny. Zipper hit coming in for 4 go again, threatening not just that 4 physical
that
damage,
yellow
but
boom,
also
did you say?
It's
the
red.
boom of the boom grenade
red boom,
on
yellow zipper
Thomas's
hit,
side of the
right?
board,
Okay,
which will
okay.
confer an additional 4 damage if even 1 point leaks through.
I feel like I've seen Zipper hit 20 times
blue autumn
this
touch.
game.
And you're right.
Okay.
Because they
Before
come
I'll make
in
anybody.
blue, yellow, and red, Thomas is able to run a total of
I'll use
9
the
copies in
turn.
his deck if he so chooses.
Yep.
Wow, okay, Dash
Put a
IO.
cerebellum
Okay,
out, I'll
Thomas,
crank
I
it.
see you.
For now, though, that boom grenade will not connect. A cerebellum processor comes off the top of the deck for Thomas Johnson Everett. Also generates an action point, hopefully giving him
And,
what he needs,
then
the
I
space,
will-
the extra action points, the fuel he needs to finally get one of these grenades to connect. Now that an action point has been generated, he can use the cerebellum processor to draw an additional card. And if you'll remember, Dash IO is able to look at the top card of the deck whenever she wants, which means that he can fix the card he wants to draw this turn.
Go on,
Friction.
Thomas. You got this. I believe in you.
Okay.
For now, he's closing the combat
Play
chain.
backup protocol
Ryan
red,
Debling
I'll
has
crank.
blocked out the onslaught so far. Backup protocol red going to be resolved here. Cranked, of course, to keep that action point for a cerebellum processor activation. Backup protocol red is going to allow Thomas the opportunity to pay 2 resources at instant speed in order to
I'll
get
break backup protocol
any
red, not
attack
the red
action
super hit.
card, mechanologist attack action card from his graveyard as long as it's red. And if you thought you saw it a lot before,
play the
it's
red
coming
zipper
back
hit.
once again. Zipper hit in the red. 5 go again.
This guy is back. Let it be known.
The cards in
He's a
hand.
good looking guy, though, right?
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of who's the bad guy in Spider-Man? The Green Goblin. That's what it's giving.
It is giving Green because Green Goblin has like all those little drone things that he messes around with too, right?
100%. He flies on stuff. It's totally Green Goblin reincarnated.
Okay, interesting. I don't know if I've ever heard Green Goblin equated to mechanologist in this game, but I'm here for it. 5 go again is the ask for Ryan Debling, who's blocking with a Stonewall Gauntlet.
Pass.
And
Well,
perhaps
guess
passing.
I'll
Got to have a
just
defense
put-
reaction. There it is. The sink below comes out of the hand, which means that no connection on that zipper hit and no booming of the grenade.
Cards in hand.
Okay,
card.
that's what we like to see on Ryan's
I'll
side.
have 2 once I
And
draw
Thomas
this.
really hoping that the top of the deck has cooperated at this point
I'll draw a
in order to
cerebellum.
draw off the cerebellum processor. And we see exactly why
Either one
he didn't
action
utilize it earlier, because the top card of the deck before boosting was an
Activate
optical
the background
monocle, one of those cards that can be cheeky for
From the
setup on the
resources.
mechanologist side of the board, but not for offensive capability. And that is
protocol red,
exactly what Thomas
crank.
needs in order to get the boom grenade to connect and
And I'll break
finally
it.
start dwindling the life total of Ryan Debling. Instead, it's just another backup protocol red, which could be just what the doctor ordered. 2 resources
It is 0 to
in the
60.
pitch. Going to go the wayside to find Thomas
And I'll
another
boost
copy
for
of
4
red
go again.
0 to 60. 4 go again here.
I just feel like we're sitting on a ticking time bomb on Thomas's side. I really do.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it feels like to be playing against
then I'll
Dash
shoot
IO.
you.
When those boom grenades are out, you know the defenses have to be up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Ryan is maybe shaking in his boots. I don't know.
He did the work that he needed to, though. No boom grenade connected there after
My turn.
that 0 to 60 came out from the backup protocol. Embodiment of Earth allowed Ryan to block yet again with 1 card, and then
Nothing on
the
your
Command and Conquer comes out to defend the Symbiosis shot that followed. So
draw.
20 plays 16.
Grenade
Ryan's feeling
breaks.
really good in this position.
Oh, that's good to hear. I mean, I initially bet on Ryan, so I'm love to hear that.
You could be proving me wrong in this one, Danny. The cards are definitely breaking the Earth Wizard's way. 16 plays 20. And it's not necessarily because Ryan is drawing the cards that he
We'll
needs
boost
to
with
when he needs to.
T-Bone.
Don't get me wrong,
Go
he
again,
is.
must be
But it's
defended by
mainly
equipment.
because Thomas Johnson has just not been able to put together a really fearsome turn as of yet.
Oh, that's a shame to hear. I do really want to see Dash IO in all of her glory at some point.
It could be that it
Level
comes
3?
your way. Maximum Velocity makes its way into the Banish Zone after paying the boost cost of T-Bone. That is exactly the card that Thomas needs in order to put together the fabled big turn. That is a 2-cost attack that comes in for 10, Danny. The caveat, though, you have to have boosted 3 times previously on that turn in order to play it.
Per turn.
And how many boosts have we had?
Putting
On
the
this turn,
time
only
zone
1
play.
so far. Null Time Zone going to
I'll
come
call
off the
Rootbound
top of the
Carapace.
deck for Thomas.
Okay.
The named card, Rootbound Carapace, once
6
again.
times.
Still have not seen a single
You
one
wanna
of them
keep one.
resolved for Ryan Devling this game. So could be a very heads-up name. It's a boom grenade on the top, which could mean that Thomas is kicking himself for
I'll
using the
boost
Dash IO
Expedite
ability
red.
on the null time
3
zone.
go
In this
again.
case, it's going to be a follow-up of
I'll hit it,
Expedite,
put that in
banishing
above,
the
more
red
or
boom
less,
grenade
okay.
off the top. 3 go again here.
Okay. Expedite. This is a new card. I've never seen this card before.
This one is
From
going to
hand
come
or
in for
from
3
banish?
go
From
again,
hand,
has
from hand.
boost. When it hits,
Okay.
Thomas can put an item with cost 0 or
I will
1
block
from his
for
hand into
4
the
on
arena.
that.
He, of course, has to
Mana
have
forest.
item with 0 or 1 cost in his hand in order to make use of it.
I
But
will
in this
activate
case,
Cerebellum,
just
going to
doing a
one
little bit of
action point,
damage.
draw a card.
Cadaverous Tilling is only going to block 2 out of that 3. Thomas, however, doesn't have the item
I
to put into
will
play.
Activate Tekla Foundry
Now,
Heart.
if Dash IO
Okay.
kind of comes out swinging
Going to 2
quickly,
resources.
how much damage could be inflicted? Could that like end the game at this
Then I
point
will
with these
play
kind of with
Heist
this kind of point?
boosting For 5 go again on hit.
Situation?
I could put
So
an item
far,
from my
I
banish into play.
I don't think that Thomas has the pieces, at least on this turn, to do something
Yeah, I'll
nasty.
send a
But
box.
we know that there
Targets
are more.
Blue optical monocle.
Excuse
boom
me, just taking a
grenade,
look at
other
the item
optical.
choices here
think
for
that's it.
Thomas. If this heist connects, that's
Yeah,
the next attack here
I'll
coming
send
in
a
for
box.
5. Thomas will have the opportunity to rip one of these
1, 2, 3, 4,
items
5.
out of the banish zone and
Move
put
out,
it
the
into the
trigger.
arena under his control. So
Yep.
this is one that Ryan definitely wants to respect if he has the defenses in hand. In order to answer your previous question, though, on a
I'll
future
choose
turn,
to put the optical
there
monocle
is
into play.
absolutely a capability that Dash IO deals upwards of 20 to 30 damage.
Heard.
But the pieces
Then
have to
I'll
align,
activate
much like the
optical
Acilio game you and I
monocle,
watched
chain,
earlier today.
off and put a card on
And
the
so
bottom.
far, with the deck thinning as it is for Thomas, time
And
is running
then-
out.
I see. Well,
Fine.
we'll just have to see what happens, I suppose.
We'll come in for 2 with the gun.
Looks like it's
I'll send a box.
5. I believe that
That's your
connected the heist.
Yep.
And the item found is the optical monocle instead of the red boom grenade that remained in the banish zone for Thomas, valuing information more than boom booms in this case. Perhaps
on
just
the
knowing
box.
that
When you're
he's
ready.
got to put together a turn that
Right.
really matters.
let me
And with the
know if
life
you're good.
totals as they are, the time is running out because if Ryan connects with one more big attack, he's going to be in combo range.
All right, go for it.
and I'm hoping that happens
cerebellum will crack.
because I would like to beat
Carapace
you.
goes to 0.
That's fair.
Look at my
But Ryan only able to draw up here and pass back to Thomas, who has set himself up, I believe, just with 4 cards. Nothing in the arsenal for now. Null time zone remains in play, though, so no more no
I'm gonna
rootbound
open up with
Carapace
0 to 60,
are allowed to be
boosting
played
for
by Ryan.
4 go again.
It's 0 to 60. 4 go again once again. And now with the optical monocle established,
We'll say no block.
Thomas is able to
No reaction.
basically look at the top card of his deck
Okay,
because of
single
his hero
layer.
ability,
Okay.
but with the item he established off of the heist, he's able to put that card on the bottom if he doesn't like it.
I'll play Spark of
That
Genius
sounds
for 0.
awesome. Imagine if you could do that in any card game that you play. That sounds incredible.
Knowing exactly what card gamers like is my sister. Spark of Genius going to be resolved here, though, allowing Thomas to search out the final copy of Cerebellum Processor remaining in the deck. He's going to crank that, of course, and get his action point back off of Spark of Genius. And also, because he has boosted this turn, Spark of Genius is going to allow him to draw a card. And look how thin that deck is looking. Ryan is close to accomplishing his secondary mini quest of fatiguing out the Dash IO. In this case, it's going to be one more before the death knell for Thomas Johnson Everett.
This is so exciting. I feel like something big is about to happen.
And this is the beginnings of what could be a big turn for Thomas Johnson Everett. Doesn't like the card on the top of the deck, I don't think, because, yes, an activation of the optical monocle is going to put that cog in the machine on the bottom. Thomas is going to see if he can find something a little bit juicier to draw off Cerebellum Processor. Doesn't like that one either. Down to the bottom of the deck you go for hopefully something juicier.
Juicy cards. That's what we're after, it seems.
Juicy cards that do damage is really what we want to be looking out for. I tend to think that Thomas might be looking for another copy of Maximum Velocity. He's only seen one copy so far, just banished to pay for a boost card. That's that 2-cost 10 power attack.
I see. And I've never seen players do what's happening on screen right now where you're shuffling through. Is that your graveyard? What's happening here?
That's correct, exactly. So in the game of Flesh and Blood, especially when you're facing an opponent like Dash IO, who is probably going to use every single card in their deck, you want to know what threats are going to be coming your way. In the case of Thomas Johnson Everett, he wants to know how many defense reactions that Ryan has played so far so that he knows how effective his breakpoints are going to be when he's presenting them.
Incredible.
I will activate Dash IO's
Flesh and Blood is a game of skill. It has been recognized by Canada and Germany as such. No longer are we viewed as gamblers, so now we can have events with
grenade. I'll crank
Yeah.
my action point back.
Gamblers.
Yeah, exactly. So a threshold of skill must be met in certain countries in order for you to have tournaments with cash prizing. So Germany and Canada are some of those countries, and only recently has Flesh and Blood been recognized as a game of skill in there.
That is just incredible that it took that long. I mean, there's nothing but skill.
There's a little bit of luck. But I am definitely of your like mind. This is a game of skill, and that's why myself and so many people love it so much. Zipper Hit is going to be shored up by Enlightened Strike and a discard of a mental block. Ponder token generated there for Ryan Devlin. One more resource remains, and a T-Bone comes in for the third boost of the turn. Teklo Foundry Heart has yet to be activated, which means that Thomas Johnson could have the silver bullet card in hand. It could be a Maximum Velocity. There's a chance that 10 damage follows up this T-Bone, but is it the case? Ryan Debling is wondering. Only one card left in the hand. Thomas could be putting in some serious work. One boom grenade goes off. Down to 9 goes Ryan Debling. 16 life. Yes, Teklo Foundry Heart is activated. 2 cards off the top of the deck will generate 1 extra resource. And there it is! Maximum Velocity coming in for 10 damage. Ryan Debling only has 1 card left in hand with which to deal it. Can't be a Rootbound Carapace. So much damage is getting through here. This is exactly what Dash IO needed.
Oh my
7.
gosh, I feel like this is what
Achilles.
he's down to 2 life points.
Yes, in an activation of the Achilles Accelerator, and a shoot of the Symbiosis shot is going to clean up the game in a flash of the pan. Down goes Ryan Debling to the Mechanologist that could, Thomas Johnson Everett.
It's so heartbreaking. I really wanted Ryan and Verdance. I have to say.
But come on, how cool was that Max
It
V
was
turn?
pretty cool. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. And Dash IO, she is not a wizard. She's a mechanologist. So we had 1 win today in the games that we watched. 1 wizard, 1 mechanologist win.
Yes, exactly. And Mechanologist may not be a wizard, but she is perhaps a wizard of gears and steam and ingenuity.
She is pretty cool. It was the ponytail.
Yeah, and it was especially cool seeing Thomas put that turn together after basically dirtling for the majority of that game. There was a lot of lackluster damage coming through, a lot of cards being banished off the top of the deck, and we saw what kind of a toll it took. I believe he was down to his last 3 cards in deck when putting together that turn.
No, I lost hope for him. 100%. I did not think that was going to happen, and it did.
So, Danny, in our previous game, we've established that you really dig the underdog. So I'm going to ask you the same question that I did on our previous match. If you were to get into the game of Flesh and Blood today, and your only 2 options were Dash.io and Verdance Thorn of the Rose, who are you picking?
Dash.io, come on.
Because she was the underdog in this game in your mind?
I think so. I like a challenge. I feel like she's a more strategic player. Or maybe it was just based on the game that I watched, but I do think it was really impressive what she could do at the very end.
Couldn't agree more. Folks, this has been yet another game of the league that means nothing. As a reminder, we are in round 5, and only the top 8 cut is left to be decided. I want to thank my sister, Danielle Platts, for joining me in the booth. It's not every day that you get a Flesh and Blood beginner, and not only that, someone that is near and dear to my heart, to cast a game of Flesh and Blood with me. So, did you have fun, Danny?
I had so much fun. I kind of want to play.
Well, that opportunity is afforded to you. I happen to have a heck of a lot of Flesh and Blood cards.
Oh, I've opened a can of worms.
Yep, you've opened the floodgates, and you've written your own headstone because you're going to be a fab gamer from now on.
I love it. I'm ready to jump in.
Well, Danny and I are going to go shuffle up and play some Flesh and Blood, and we will be back with more The League That Means Nothing in short order. Have a good day, everybody.